Welcome, Mr. McRae.
Thank you. My name is Ian McRae, and I've been living and volunteering in the downtown Eastside for more than 25 years, and I'm currently a member of the Low Income Caucus. There's so much to talk about here, but let me talk about micro-suites. About 14 years ago, I was working with DERA, and we had an opportunity to redevelop a hotel called the Metropole Hotel with a private-public partnership, and we took about 30 pee in the sink, if you want to call it that, rooms, or 64, and turned them into 60 self-contained units. 60 self-contained units, which had a half bath, because that's all we could have managed, and a little cooker, and a bar fridge. And the architect we worked with at the time, Stu Lyons, said, the only way you can do this at all is because for some strange reason the hallways are 8 feet wide. So we could take 2 feet inside from each hallway that way, and it's added that to the rooms altogether and turn them into self-contained rooms, which they were basically were at that time. And he said there aren't that many hotels around here that structurally you can do that with. So when you talk about renovating hotels and building self-contained units for them, it's a tall order to try and get it done. If you're trying to build standalone units, and say in the downtown DEOD, as you're talking about for 30% social housing, and building micro-suites so that it's affordable for developers to do so, I don't know what kind of micro-suites you're going to get and what kind of livability you're going to have in those suites. Because something tells me I'm the poor senior that's going to end up with 1/3 of those housing units, and they're probably all going to be facing the lane. And I'm going to be facing the lane when they're raining on it, got no places to go and look out the lane. The other demographic that's going to be in those suites are probably someone like maybe 27-year-olds that are making $45,000 a year. And how is it going to be livable for them? But first of all, they're going to get a Murphy bed and floorboards and everything else and all the fancy stuff that will attract them there. But it's going to be attractive to them because they're hardly ever there. They have a fancy job they go to in the morning. They might come back at 5 and 6 o'clock. They phone somebody up and they go out that night. They come back at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. They go to bed and they wake up in the morning. They do that every day of the week. They go out entertaining some night. They go to the hockey game. They go to take their girlfriend out to the opera, wherever it happens to be. They come back at 11 o'clock. They go to bed and go to work again. On the weekends, they go to the Whistler or they go up and have brunch on Sundays, and then they go and play tennis in the afternoon, whatever it happens to be. They're never in that suite for that much time, so that's easy for them. But when you're someone that's standing, well, you see so many people in the streets in the downtown East Side, because when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they say is, I got to get out of here. I can't stand this. It doesn't matter how well appointed the place is. You're stuck in four corners. You want to get out of there as fast as possible. I'm thinking the reason for the push for these micro-suites is because you've heard from the development community that they can't put together a pro forma that will make them any money at all with building out in the DEOD with the 60-40 restrictions around it. So you thought, well, maybe we'll make it easier for you to make some kind of a profit by proposing these micro-suites. And then you can build them out here and there and everywhere else. I'm beginning to think we're talking about a micro-suite precinct that could be developing in the DEOD, maybe even a micro-precinct ghetto, if you want to call it that, over time. And the problem I have with all of that, as I've talked about earlier, is the type of people that are going to be living in those front suites are the type of people that are mobile and they have alternatives and they can get up and go. So you're not talking about now about a stable community that the downtown East Side has been for over 50 or 60 years. You're talking basically about a transient community, and it's going to have a desperate effect on the overall layout of how people live down there. It's not going to be a healthy environment. People can't live like that. So I'm urging you to take that element, that's the micro-suite element that's in this, and defer it until it has a better opportunity for people to discuss it at length, and maybe drag it back to the community and say, what do you think about this? Where can we go with this? Is this something we can work with? But rather than just stamp it right here today, who knows where it's going to end up? I don't know, it's not going to end up well. Thank you.
All right.